James Cameron needed another $1 billion, so he made this movie. I got to watch Avatar Fire and Ash a while ago, and to no one's surprise, it's a really good movie. I actually really did like it. I've always thought the Avatar series were really good. I really loved the first one. I think that film is just really great, really peak. I would give that a 10 out of 10, honestly. It's just really that good. And I think for what the movie was doing back then, it really just stands out. And it was like a real big cinematic, like Marvel at the time, a real big accomplishment. I think the second one was also pretty great. Wasn't as like unique and very special as the first one because it was kind of just doing a lot of the same things. Not like totally the same, but it still did a lot of good things also. It's a really great film. I would probably give that a 9 out of 10. And now here we go with Avatar Fire and Ash, the third installment in the Avatar series, directed by James Cameron, and the third out of 6 movie to come because, yeah, there's gonna be a lot more of these movies coming. Ever since Disney bought the rights to Avatar, they pretty much promised to be making a lot more of these. And you know, this one was pretty okay too, though I will say, I am starting to see a little bit of a trend here. Now, a lot of people always say that these movies are kind of the same thing. I kind of disagree. While each movie have similar elements, each one kind of tells their own story and like this overarching story that's going on. The story does continue to progress and more new things are introduced. It isn't like dealing with the same thing from the first to second movie. Like with this movie, it does talk about new things. We do get to see like a new tribe of, you know, Na'vi, as well as like new advancements on the human side of everything. But I really don't agree with people saying that this is just the same movie. If that was the case, then someone could argue that all of the Star Wars movies are really just the same when they're really not. This is just what happens when you tell a story and you continue the said same story. Now, another thing I also want to talk about is its cultural impact. While I do agree Avatar doesn't like have a massive cultural impact, I do think it has somewhat of one. Like obviously the first one came out like so many years ago and the second one only recently just came out a few years ago. So the whole interest behind the Avatar franchise has only just like started its resurgence. People just assumed, oh, the Avatar was a great movie. We're only getting one of those. It was great. And that's kind of how standalone movies were kind of just like. No one really expected there to be 2 sequels like 10 or 15 years later. So yeah, it makes sense why no one really talks about it that much. You could say the same thing about the Titanic, another James Cameron movie. Yeah, of course this movie doesn't have a massive cultural impact. It's also because it came out like nearly 20 years ago or 30 years ago. But it's also its own standalone film. What is there to really talk about? Unless they make a Titanic 2, that is, which that would be absurd. So people saying that the Avatar movies don't really have an impact on culture, I just don't agree with that really. It's kind of disingenuous. It's also kind of funny because when these last 2 movies came out, there has been a lot of scenes that's been memed a lot and a lot of people's been sharing them. There's also a lot of moments from these movies that other franchises reference a lot, like with the whole ICU. Like I was saying, I'd argue that this franchise does have an impact somewhat. May not be massive, but it's still there. So yeah, with that out of the way, let's actually talk about the third movie. Like I mentioned, it was pretty great, and if you have seen the first and second movie, I think you will enjoy this one as well. Story pretty much takes place after the second movie. Jake Sully and his family needs to adjust to everything that has happened recently. The humans are still trying to get resources from these like whale-like creatures, and they're not going to be stopping. Miles, of course, is still around. He's actually now teaming up with this new tribe of Na'vi who seems to be opposing all the other Na'vi people, and he gets in with their ranks and uses them as like a little bonus military squad of people, you know, and he introduces them to weapons and other mass destruction tools, so they're very interested in because these people love to like kill all the other Na'vi. Now, I'm only gonna really say that much because really the Avatar movies, there is so much to say when it comes to the story. Like, that is really all you need to know when it comes to this, like, new installment. There is so many elements introduced in this film, so many plot lines. Like, there's a plot line involving Spider and his ability to not survive that much, and him running out of resources to stay with the Na'vi. There's a plot line with one of Jake's sons, Loak, dealing with what happened in the last movie with losing an older brother. There's even a plot line with his daughter trying to stay connected to this god of the Na'vi people named Iwa. And of course, on the human side, like I mentioned, there's them trying to deal with this new like Ash people, or Ash tribe I should say. And of course Jake Sully is still trying to be a great father. His wife trying to be a strong soldier. There's just honestly a lot. Also, this movie's 3 hours. 3 hours and like 20 minutes, I believe. It's a big movie. It's a big story. I think it's a good story, and I think it's very engaging, and I don't think it's boring at all. Now, I do like these kind of movies. If you really don't like watching a lot of like mindless war scenes, scattered in between them like slow moments with characters, you know, developing and having like conversations about what's going on, like, that's what this movie is. And if you don't like that, then don't watch this, because that is what you're going to get when you watch this movie. Of course, the CGI is absolutely groundbreaking. It's really the best in class. There's no other movie that looks as pretty and gorgeous as this. Really, I think this movie's CGI is just amazing. It kind of is losing its charm a little, though. It's not like it's groundbreaking like the first one was. Like when it came out, the first one, that was an amazing film, and its CGI and everything. That was just awesome, and it still is with this one, though it doesn't have that magic anymore. It's just like, yeah, you're the best. Here's your trophy for being the best looking movie ever. There is some issues where the lighting was kind of weird in the movie, though nothing too distracting, really. But yeah, the colors, the lighting, the animations, the effects, everything was just groundbreaking. It was gorgeous. It was awesome. Everyone's performances as far as acting goes was also really great, especially Miles Spider. I think he did a really great job in this movie. A lot better in the second one that I remember. Jake Sully's character is still Jake Sully, really. There's nothing really new with him, but he really does a great job still being his character. There is some moments where he has to be the dad of the whole situation, where a lot of people don't really like the decisions he's making, but he's doing it for the greater good. Miles, or Stephen Lang's character, is also really great in this movie. I think he did a really great job. He's a lot more funnier in this movie, and there's a lot more funny scenes around this movie involving him, really. Especially the scene where he meets up with the people of the Ash Tribe, which, by the way, I don't know if that's really their name. I'm just going to call them that, the Ash Tribe or Ash Navi. There's a lot of funny scenes involving them. The writing is pretty okay, really. There's nothing too crazy about it. They really just want to focus on the battles and the whole character-to-character moments in this film. They are really strong moments, and I really do like them. The writing is also pretty okay. There's nothing like too contradicting or nothing that doesn't make sense as far as everything goes. They do introduce this whole thing about Spider being more connected to the Na'vi people, which I don't want to say too much about. If you've seen the trailers and you've kind of seen scenes of them, which of course the movie does make it make sense. I want to say this about the genre as well. Like, there is of course another big battle that happens in this movie that takes place for the majority of the time, or at least like the final third. It's definitely a very appealing movie. Like, it's a very fun movie. It's very video gamey, if anything. We even get to see some new like mechs, some new equipment being used by the humans. Some funny ones like the crab ones. That was pretty funny. They don't do anything too unique or too crazy. Nothing that's like, oh wow, they've been really like stepping up their game. Like, that crab machine is really like the new thing that they introduce. And it's funny, it's cool, but there isn't anything else that's too crazy or too new that's mind-blowing. And you'd think the humans would take this time to really think of some machines to use to, you know, win these battles. There's also a decent battle scene that happens like in the home base of where the humans are, where all the workers are. That was a pretty fun scene, a lot of like cool moments there. Like I mentioned, this does feel like a video game, and I don't really want to say that as an insult. It almost makes me wish this was like a video game, if anything. And I know there is, but we don't talk about that game, obviously. The movie does go to other places as well throughout the planet of Pandora. We get to see some old returning areas, as well as some slightly new ones that doesn't really like show anything too crazy. And it's only a matter of time before the next movie just shows another tribe of Na'vi based on another element. I'm assuming that's what they're going for with this like world of Pandora. There is some great camera shots that showed off the environment of the world. A really gorgeous movie to look at, really. I don't really have much to say about its soundtrack. I kind of just feel like it's really just a soundtrack to just, you know, exist, really. There wasn't like any standout songs that I really recall. Yeah, there's just a lot of things that this movie did right. It was great. It was pretty good, honestly. Like, if they were to keep making these movies, I would say they pretty much will be making their target goal of $1 billion or plus, more than, because yeah, of course, this movie's making $1 billion. And there really isn't anything wrong with these movies, but I will say I am hoping for the next movie to like grow into something more big or massive, if anything. Like, I don't have a problem with what the movies are doing right now, but I will say if the trend keeps continuing with these movies, it's just going to be very safe and very predictable. Like I mentioned, there's nothing wrong with what they did with this movie, but I am hoping with the next movie being the 4th Avatar movie, which is just crazy to think about. I really hope they do something massive, something big, something crazy. And that's not to say they didn't do anything crazy or massive with this movie. It was just like a nudge up, like, oh yeah, they did some slightly new things. With the fourth movie coming, like, I'm just hoping for a lot of big things. I don't really know what that entails, or I don't know what that could even look like, but who really knows? I don't want to say these movies are just taking the safe route, but it kind of feels like they're starting to. But either way, I still think the movie is just good. It's really fine. It has a lot of elements that remind me of the second movie. Like, this movie truly does feel like it's just right after the second movie, and together they're just like one big 5-hour or 6-hour long movie. I know obviously it's a sequel and they want to continue the story directly after, but this movie could have also done some new, like completely new and original things, not just like use a lot of the same elements from the last movie. That's really my biggest complaint. Everything else was just pretty okay, really pretty good. And for that, I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10. It's the lowest scored one so far, and yeah, that's why I was saying, like, I hope they do something big with the next movies, because I don't want this to be like a safe franchise where they just do something epic and cool, and it's not like pushing the goalpost or pushing the needle that far. But yeah, I really hope that they do something massive with the next movie. Like, this is a chance to like start a new trilogy, if anything. This is when like the fourth movie is always like the start of something new. So who knows what they're gonna do. I just hope it's super massive, super big. I don't know, I'm probably not even saying the right words. Either way, if you like the first one and the second one, you're gonna like the third one. I just think that they relied on too many elements from the second movie with this one. That's really just my main thing. Everything else, great, like I said. So yeah, what do you guys think? That was Avatar Fire and Ash, and yeah, everyone, you have a great rest of your day.